Greetings fanboys and fangirls, Jared here with another video from Fanboys Forever. Today we're going to be looking at several different Mezco accessory packs. We're going to be looking at Double Trouble, that's the weapons expansion pack that Mezco unveiled alongside their new Golden Age Batman and Two-Face 2-pack. Very interesting that this is shipping so much earlier than that set. Over here we have the brand new glow-in-the-dark multicolor Skulls 12-pack. And this is something they put on the Slugfest Emporium just about a week or two ago. And over here we have a mystery box. Now, this was the thing to where if you had one of the cog wheels that Mezco sent out, then you were eligible to put in a special code with your order where you bought so much and you got this mystery box. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start looking at all of these cool Mezco accessory sets. The first one we'll be having a look at is the glow-in-the-dark multicolor Skulls 12-pack. And before we look at the glow-in-the-dark heads, it's worth noting that you do get one of these little mini Metsit figures. Usually you'll get these with just about anything you order from Mezco, and lately I'm getting the pink one with a little boombox, so it's pretty cool. So looking at the packaging here, we can see that we just have a little display of all the different colors of skulls you're going to get that glow in the dark. And here you get the sealed bag with all the heads inside, so let's go ahead and get them out. So with each of the 4 color varieties, you do get 3 of each one. So you get 3 of the light yellowy one, 3 of the glow-in-the-dark pink one, 3 of the glow-in-the-dark blue, and 3 of the glow-in-the-dark green. Let's go ahead and start with our first test subject being Atticus Doom. And this way we can get a better look at how one of these skulls looks on a figure. Now the reason I'm starting with him is because he of course has a skull for a head already. This will probably look a little big on him because this is the small body. And here we go. You can see he's looking extra Halloween-y, if that's even possible for Atticus here. And it looks pretty neat. Yeah, I like this alright. Like I said, this is kind of like their teenage body that Atticus uses. Same thing for, of course, Doc Nocturnal. It is going to look a little big, all things considered. But let's see how it looks if we dim our studio light. And voila, as you can easily tell, this thing is very glowy. Of course, this is just with the lights kind of off a little bit. The next one we'll be looking at is the green variation. This is the one I kind of gravitate towards because it's the most Halloween-esque, I guess. So I thought it would be kind of cool to see what one of these looked like on a Black Skull Death Brigade member because I thought the green would bring out the patch. There's also quite a bit of kinship in terms of the size of the heads on these guys, so I thought it might look the most natural. And just as I thought, that actually looks really cool. So one of, I think, the best uses for these skull packs is to kind of do army builder kind of things with your Black Skull's Death Brigade because you put on the goggles on this guy. And honestly, it pops even more so, right? Even putting it around the actual eye holes here looks really cool. Let's see it without the light. Here he is in near darkness, and the effect works really nicely. Taking the goggles up, you can see it works even better that way. So yeah, definitely a pretty strong glowing effect there. Next one we'll look at is our blue skull here, and I'm curious if this one will glow that much because I'm not really sure what they can do with more of this darker blue color, but we'll see how it works. For this one, I thought it might be fun to have maybe the Vapor figure because he's got blue skin anyway, so I thought it might look cool. You can see that it's a pretty neat look for him, I guess, right here. Maybe he's going through some kind of security checkpoint. This is what you see on the little x-ray machine. So let's see what it looks like without the light. Oh, that actually works quite a bit better than I thought it would. You can see that the glow is enough to where it's even slightly illuminating the collar on the shirt. So color me surprised on that one. You know, this is the kind of thing that once you put the hat on and stuff, it could look even cooler. It's kind of a strain, but the hat can go on it. You can see it just kind of cuts out the effect a little. Turning the light back on, it certainly doesn't contrast very well with the color of the hat. It looks pretty good with the hood on to give it a little bit of extra contrast. Then we have this pink skull here, which is just very almost candy looking and really outrageous. I'm not really sure what it would go well with, but we're certainly going to try something. And why not go with the most atypical choice we could, the Symphony of Horror Nosferatu. And look at that, just as nature intended it, Nosferatu with a pink head and blue arms. But it's certainly an interesting look. Let's go ahead and see what it looks like on the glow effect. And you can see that it lights up pretty well. It definitely, to my eye, my camera is adjusting to kind of make up for it, but to my eye, it isn't as bright as the others were. But it's still pretty cool looking, and I'm surprised it even really worked at all. So let's say you just want to use it like as a mercenary head of some sort. You can do that. You can just pop it on one of your Gomez's like I have here. We've definitely gotten our fair share of skulls from Mezco, and it seems like the hits just keep coming. They're all the time releasing a new skull pack, I suppose every time they want $25. That means that for $25, and yes, every head pack they do is $25, you pay a little over $2 a piece for these guys. I think that's fairly reasonable for what they are. I do believe that they intentionally give you quite a few of them in hopes that, you know, if you're an enterprising customizer, you can paint them and add your own details and things, or maybe like paint in the eyes or add like a wash to the teeth. That would be really fun, and there's certainly enough of them to where you wouldn't feel bad about doing that to a couple of sets of them. Me personally, I would probably rather pay less money for less duplicates. So if I just got, say, 8 of these, I'd be perfectly content to pay, say, $15. I think that would be the sweet spot for these guys. But still, they're pretty cool. And seeing as how Two-Face keeps flipping a coin and telling me Harvey's not here anymore, I guess I may as well go ahead and get out that Double Trouble Weapons Expansion Pack. I actually really do like the art on this box here. This definitely looks like the shadow to me over here. That's something that I can only hope that we'll eventually see from Mezco. And who knows, maybe it's some sort of foreshadowing for it. It does kind of remind me of the Alec Baldwin version of the character because he was kind of dual wielding in that movie. And that's right, I will not be doing any Alec Baldwin jokes here. Cool Slugfest Emporium sticker. I really like that. It's really reflective. We have our barcode, which will be of no help to you because these aren't sold in stores. And it says ages 18 and up, not a toy for children, intended for adult collectors only. And the rest of it is just white. So let's go ahead and see the contents. Here's what you get inside the box. It's worth noting there's a little bit of history with this item, and this came up for pre-order right at the same time that they had the Golden Age Batman and Two-Face set up. Mezco's been doing this a lot lately for their DC releases. What they do is right alongside of it, and they've done it for some non-DC releases too, like Conan, they'll have some sort of expansion pack or extra accessory pack that isn't branded and certainly isn't licensed by that particular company, but they'll offer it on their store. Now, in the case of DC products, like say Victorian era Gotham by Gaslight Batman, they put up the Victorian Vigilante pack, and for this, these are clearly meant to be like Two-Face weapons for that set. Apparently, you've got DC clamping down on their licensors about what sorts of weapons and accessories that can be included. Particularly these kinds of weapons and accessories, even for villains, even on toys that say 18 and up, not a toy and all that. They're apparently saying, okay, you know, we're not going to do that. Even on the Batman stuff, you're not seeing anything like that with like the Penguin, even though he should have come with something like that from McFarlane. So they're really just completely backing away from that, and I understand it to an extent, but I also see this as kind of a way for them to come to their licensing partners like Mezco and be like, okay, you can't do this, but what if we told you that you can sell collectors an extra pack and you can do it separately? And even Todd McFarlane was discussing doing something like that, and I think people were like celebrating it, and I thought, really? This is just a way to get us to have to buy something else so they can sell the accessories separately. I know that they're doing it for some kind of moral stance thing or whatever. I would understand that if these toys were being sold to kids in like Walmart or something. But that isn't the case. This is through like a specialty website. Oh well, let's go ahead and look at the contents. You get a wide variety of duplicate weapons like these two Tommy guns right here. You can see all the details really nice in these guys, and they even have removable ammo drums. You just take it right out, and then you can clip it right back in. So here's the weapons with its intended recipient, even if it's not exactly the right version of Two-Face. At the time of recording for this video, for those watching it in the future, that set hasn't released yet. So you can see that he looks really cool with two Tommy guns here, and definitely the dual wielding look is right for Two-Face. I've switched him to his face. He looks really good. I have to say these are really nice, and I think they look terrific with the figure. The one thing I'll say is the ammo drums, once you switch them out a few times, there's something about the little plastic ridge that's holding them in. I think that it wears down really easy. And so then it's not a really good, like, secure hold for these anymore. I've been struggling with them falling out as I've tried to post these around, so just be aware of that. But these look nice. The next set of guns that he comes with are these two little double-barreled handguns here. I will say that this is exactly what this figure already came with. I can't remember if he just came with one of those or what, but it is the same model. You have the cartridge that can be loaded in from the bottom right here and taken out, and of course you can actually slide this right at the top. So that's pretty cool. Nice little details. They're very, very thick on the handle to where the hands barely hold on to them, but they don't look bad at all once you just have them posed up. So it's another cool addition. For the sake of brevity, these are the other two main types of handguns that he comes with, but I'm just showing you one of each, and he does come with a pair of both. That's kind of the whole theme of the set. It's all about dual wielding. I really do like our kind of basic revolver that we always see. You can pretty easily dislodge the chamber right from the gun here, and it has that kind of detail we've come to expect from Mezco, where you can actually see all the little different rounds that are in there, so that's pretty cool. And you can easily just replace that right back into the gun. And another cool thing about this revolver is this rotates in here, or revolves, so that's pretty cool. Now the other gun he comes with is more of a sawed-off looking shotgun, or at least that's what it looks like to me. You have all the little details with the double barrels and things, and you can also open it up and you can see where the 2 bullets would go. So that's pretty cool as well. Like I said, he does come with 2 each of these guys, but for the sake of brevity, here they both are. Two-Face comes with stacks and stacks and stacks of coins here, and I guess this is like him robbing a bank or something. And you can see all those little stacks of coins. They don't separate individually or anything, but you can see some little details on them, which is neat. It's almost like little lions printed on them. You can see how the sculpting kind of simulates that they're all stacked on top of each other. And at the bottoms, we have a different little symbol or logo down there, so it's kind of interesting. So where are you going to put all those? Well, if you're going to do a robbery, do it in style and with 2 different bags. So here they are sealed up. These bags are really interesting. They kind of have the pleather material up here for the binding, and that continues down here. The rest of it is more of a canvas. And what's cool is that these look like something you would have seen in the 70s, like something somebody was taking to work with them or going to college campus with. So I really do like the style of these things, and they look pretty authentic, especially when viewed from a little bit of a distance, because keep in mind, you're looking at like super zoomed in close-up photography of something that's small. This is held on with a little thread here, as you can see. And you would actually just have to take this and pull it out. You don't want to just try to rip it open when you first get it, because you're going to rip that little thread. And they have the little pieces of styrofoam in them that we see with a lot of backpacks and things that Mezco puts out. But if you want to utilize them to actually carry stuff, you're going to have to take that out, and it can be easily replaced if you want to have, like, you know, a fake amount of weight in it to keep the shape. But I do believe that the intention is to put the gold coins in there. Interestingly, Two-Face won't need both bags to rob this particular bank, because he could fit every bit of the gold in this one, and it actually fills it out really nicely. One thing I think could be kind of a kicker is trying to get this thing bound back together the way that it came, because you're going to have to thread this right through that little hole up there. Then you're going to have to get the strap through it. Let's see how easy that is. I'm just going to try this right now on live on camera and see what I can do. No editing or anything. Okay. All right. I'm sort of able to get it through there, I guess. Yeah. Okay. That wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be. And then the trick is that you have to take the strap and thread it through the handle at the top, then through that. Let's see if I can do it without any editing or anything. Let's see. Is it possible? Okay, I'm through the carrying handle, but can I get it through the little thread? And I'm trying to do, I think that if you had like a little pair of tweezers or something you used to work with model kits or something, you would be able to do it pretty quick. I'm just seeing if this is actually doable with your hands, like for adult sized hands. Maybe if you got a kid around, you can make them close up the robbery bag. Two-Face, that's right. That's his new strategy. Okay, I did it. So you can do it. I have to give Mezco some credit here because I initially scoffed when I saw how it worked, but you know what? It's not too bad. Clearly it wasn't too ill-defined. And even though I still have his trigger finger hand on there because I'm too lazy to just switch it out, I think it looks pretty cool with him holding it like this. Like I said, if you switch it out to his regular like holding hand, it would look even more authentic. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Looks like he's demanding the money or whatever. And I really do like the retro coloring, which is even more proof that this is intended to go with that Golden Age set. This is definitely something from a bygone era, but it does kind of contrast nicely with his burgundy and black suit. For the following blast effects, it's just worth noting that each one I'm going to show you, he comes with 2 of them, because that's pretty much the theme of the whole set. I'm assuming the smaller blast effect here is definitely intended for something like his revolver. Now this isn't new or anything, even for Two-Face, because we saw the original release come with these kinds of effects. I will say this small one is kind of loose fitting in the revolver, so it's definitely something to be aware of. I mean, it's not coming out necessarily, but it feels like it could, just with the slightest bit of pressure, so that's something to keep an eye out for, but it looks good. In great contrast to the last blast effect I showed you, this one was a really tight fit, so you can use this one with the double barrel or any of the other weapons, and like I said, there's 2 of them. Here's a really big blast effect where there's no bullet embedded in it, it's just almost like a big explosion coming out of the barrel. So I suppose that's appropriate for this particular gun. And yes, he does come with 2 of those as well, and he comes with 2 of these blast effects, one for each of the Tommy guns or machine guns, whatever you want to say here, and I think they look really cool. But we've seen all these blast effects before. And here's Two-Face with just a few of the items you get in the set. I really do like the set, it's pretty fun. I really do like getting the old-timey looking Tommy guns, and all the blast effects are really nice. What's great is that you could utilize this for not just Two-Face, but a whole lot of your Mezco figures. I could definitely see Doc Nocturnal using all of these. I think that would look really cool. I think they definitely could have been a little more original with some of their choices. There's some of the stuff that we've seen several times, but I think that it would suit your Golden Age Two-Face nicely, and honestly, it suits this one pretty well too. I walk away liking the money bags, like the robbery bags. I think those satchels, I think those are the coolest thing about the set, aside from the Tommy guns themselves. And finally, wouldn't you know it, it's moment of truth time. Let's go ahead and see what's in the mystery box. Now, this was the free gift that they were going to send if you use the code they sent out in their email. So let's see what it is. One of the things we get is a Rumble Society patch, and this is really cool. I usually just keep all this stuff. I have several Mezco patches at this point, and I don't necessarily have some kind of old jacket that I'm putting them on or anything, but if you have something like that, this could be pretty cool. Get it sewn into your couch. How about that? This is pretty cool. It's just a little Rumble Society kind of logo pin with the skull that has all of the battle damage on it. On the back, you can actually see that you just take out this plunger, stick it through, and then stick it back on the other side. So I really like it when the pins have that. So it actually has kind of a metal feel to it. We get a much larger pin here. It looks like some brass knuckles, and you have the kind of a more sickly looking skull there for the Rumble Society. Because it's larger, you have 2 of those little plunger pin combinations. It says Rumble Society on the back. So that's a pretty neat little gift, I guess. Finally, we get a little extra Metzit. Of course, those are the things like I shown you at the beginning that was pink. Let's see what color we got. Alright, opening this up. Let's see. It's old reliable, the gold. I have multitudes and multitudes of these guys, but I'll add them to the horde. Well, friends, I certainly hope you've enjoyed this look at some of the fun little things that you could get from Mezco. This, of course, isn't a sponsored review or anything like that. This is just the stuff that I buy from Mezco on the regular. Of course, I'm always looking for new stuff that they put up in the Slugfest Emporium. Usually they have some pretty cool little items. Usually they're fairly limited, and it's just something that I enjoy taking a look at. I'm interested to see exactly how much further they can push this kind of bag of skulls concept. I'm sure there's many other things that they'll continue to do with it, and at this point it's kind of a tradition, but it does seem like that after they've done transparent, glow-in-the-dark, neon colors, primer skulls that you can paint yourself, you name it, it feels like they've really tried just about all the different concepts, but who knows, maybe there's something else that we'll see here pretty soon. And of course, you know I'll be here to review it. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all those other Mezco reviews, and be sure to like the video if you have enjoyed it, because that really does help the channel grow and it helps YouTube to share it out. And as always, God bless you and yours, and I'll see you on Fanboys Forever. Fanboy out.